yeah, like wouldn't recognize her. And then at the end, someone said Raquel, and Bethenny goes, Rachel. And she goes, yes, the artist formerly known as Raquel. And I turned around and then I put all the pieces together and I'm like, hey, I'm Melissa, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But I didn't talk to her. I didn't even get it. I had to DM Jennie and saying, oh my God, I am so sorry that we didn't get to speak. But I was deep in Dancing with the Stars land. Like I talked to Nene for like a couple minutes, reminisced about Fashion Police. I talked to my friend Amy, Bethenny, Cheryl, who I just parked myself right there. And like Denise Richards did a drive-by. So I talked to Denise for a minute. This woman who's a hairstylist was there that I know. So I kind of like did my little rounds, but I was like super fangirl.
Denise must have been a quick in and out because she wasn't in that picture.
Literally a drive-by. You know what I mean? Which is lovely. When people are that busy that she stopped, you know, and came and say hey and hi and hugs, you know, and then bolted. I thought that was actually really nice of her.
And you didn't see any like Raquel or Rachel, the artist form, and Nene like in the corner chatting about everything.
I saw, but there were lots of little groupie chats.
Yeah.
You know, and I glued myself to frickin' Cheryl. I'm like, hi, I'm going to stalk you for the rest of the night. But I had a great seat in between Bethenny and Cheryl. And,
kind of the premier seat.
Well, the thing was, it wasn't place carded. So we were all kind of going around, and I said to Bethenny, do you mind if I sit next to you? And she goes, no, great, sit down. And I sat, and then Cheryl just like, whoom, right in next to me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like heaven. All I needed was some below deck people. And, you know, like I said, I chatted with Nene. But I mean, and how about this? It was called for at 6:30. Yeah. And we all left at almost 10. That's a successful party. Like people, and we all were still sitting at the table.
Was one person like really late? Like did Nene come late? Did Tiffani?
Everybody,
really?
Everybody was basically on time. You know, we were called for 6:30. We sat down at 7:15. Okay. And by the way, a great fucking goodie bag.
Really?
Yeah.
And this was all thrown by your friend, so it was her dinner.
Yes.
Somehow I
think it was also part of Bethenny's because it was like the B whatever thing. Plus it's iHeart, which has all these women's podcasts. You know, so it was that kind of a thing.
I told you, like, the consensus from all of my Bravoholic listeners was that Bethenny was because I was like, what is this? They think the rumor out there is Bethenny is starting her own podcast network. And she's going to, you know, because she's doing this mini thing with Nene. She's going to give Nene a podcast and teach her. And she's going to do that for Rachel. And she's going to steal all the rest of you away from your current podcast companies. But well, not happening.
I'm going to go on the record of saying I love her dad and I am not going anywhere.
Okay. Don't go anywhere.
Why would I?
It was somehow people feel like it was Bethenny's, just her event. That's like the.
Maybe it was. Yeah. Again, I don't know. I was like, ooh, gossip here, gossip there, gossip here, gossip there. So speaking of that, one of the big topics was the Vanity Fair, the article that's supposed to drop right before BravoCon.
Next week.
Yes.
It's supposed to drop. I knew about this. I have a housewife that told me about this, not Bethenny. That was told me about this like a month ago. And, you know, I just like, really, is this really? Because you know how you and I hear everything and we're like, a lot of things are just things get exaggerated. And I'm like, is this really a real thing? Apparently, yeah, it is. This Vanity Fair thing really is coming.
And apparently they've been working on it for over 6 months. Like this is an in-depth investigatory piece. And the drumbeat is not good.
No.
It is not good and paints a lot of people in a very bad light. I mean, it apparently is not kind to Andy. It is not kind to the production companies. It's not kind to Bravo. And I don't know who else they've spoken to, but that's 3 big ones. And when I say not kind, I'm somewhere between holy shit and scathing.
Yeah, that's what, and it's not like we're talking out of school. Like, this article is coming. Like, blink your eyes after you listen to this episode. It's coming. So I heard the same thing from this housewife, that it's really heavily targeted towards Andy first and foremost, and then everyone else.
But it was in page 6. There was a big thing in page 6 going, heads up, this is coming. So it's going to be very interesting, and it's right before BravoCon, and it's going to be very interesting if it is what everybody says it is. It's going to be interesting to see how it reflects at BravoCon, which, to be 100% honest, I think it is not going to make even a blip on the radar there.
You don't think so? I mean, look, just from my own experience, the Bravoholics, I don't think anything could really make a ripple, right? Like, they're gonna be there in person with everyone. They're not gonna not be thrilled to be there.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that they're gonna care. But speaking of BravoCon, I'm very angry at you.
I know.
Because we got invited to go to BravoCon, and no, Mr. Social has to be in Europe for a wedding.
Yes and yes. Well, first of all, I was going to the wedding anyway. I'm one of these people, like I just was telling you before, I planned things last minute. Like, this wedding was planned, and then there was BravoCon, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I didn't take a second to say, this is you were here in November, October, like, whatever. What are the chances? But this is the story of my life. And then when you focus, you're like, this can't really be the same weekend, can it? Oh, well, I mean, it is. The facts are right in front of you. So I was like, I was resolved to not go to BravoCon, even though I've gone twice. And then when you reached out to me, I was like, you're just like sticking a knife in my back. Like, I had to emotionally, I accepted that I wasn't going. And then I'm like, oh man, now I really want to go.
So
you're going.
I'm going. So what do you want me to find out? What are going to be the big stories, and where do I go super stealth?
Listen, I want to know, because, listen, I've been there twice. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. It's really 3 days of you're going to be a kid in a candy store. It's like, you're going to be like, oh my God, there's Frasier, all your favorites, Melissa. And then you're going to
I've already been texting with Frasier that I'm going to be there. My secret boyfriend.
I mean, I'm sure he's thrilled.
He is. We're already making plans.
Oh my gosh. I would like to know, first and foremost, like, I want to know, because people bring their entourage. Who is Kyle there with? Is Kyle with, is Mauricio there? Is Morgan there? Is she there alone? I want to know who Kyle is there with. Really. Not up on the stage. Everyone's going to bring their plus ones, or who is Kyle there with? Is Mauricio there?